Hey, y'all, don't forget to hit those buttons over there while you're listening. We have a former Houston officer convicted of MURDER in the deaths of a couple during D-Rug raid. After reading this, I don't understand how Breonna Taylor, I don't understand how they, because this is very similar. A grand jury found Gerald Goins guilty of 2 counts of MURDER in the January 2019 deaths of Dennis Tuttle, 59, and his 58-year-old wife, Regina Nicholas. The couple, along with their dog, were fatally pew-pewed after officers burst into their home using a no-knock warrant that didn't require them to announce themselves before entering. Goins faces up to life in prison. The same jury that convicted him after deliberating for less than a full day will also decide his sentence after hearing additional testimony and evidence during the punishment phase, set to begin Thursday. Goins looked down and did not visibly react as the verdict was read. He has been freed on bond and was immediately taken into custody. Oh, okay. Nichols' family said it was grateful for the jury's verdict. The jury saw the case for what it was: vicious MURDERs by corrupt police, an epic cover-up attempt, and a measure of justice, at least with Goins. Our quest for justice and the untangling of the character assassination of Regina and Dennis will continue in the civil courts. Good for them. After the trial began September 9th, prosecutors presented testimony and evidence that they said showed Goins lied to get a search warrant that falsely portrayed the couple as dangerous D-Rug dealers. Isn't that the same thing? Right? It was a false warrant. That Prosecutor Keaton Forch said Goins' actions wrongfully led officers to the couple's home, resulting in a violent confrontation in which the couple was unalived and 4 officers were pew-pewed and wounded and a 5th injured. Goins' lawyer has acknowledged that maybe that's why, because officers were injured too. And 2 people, because they have the boyfriend to blame in this case, right? Goins' lawyer had acknowledged the ex-officer lied to get the search warrant, but minimized the impact of his false statements. They said his actions did not merit an MURDER conviction. Nicole DeBoard, one of Goins' attorneys, portrayed the couple as armed D-Rug dealers and said they were responsible for their own deaths because they fired at officers. Similar, right? I guess they're very similar because that's what they said. But in Breonna's case, they said, yeah, the boyfriend was responsible. So this very well could have ended up that way, where they were like, yeah, if they hadn't fired, then they wouldn't be dead. Prosecutors said Goins falsely claimed an informant had bought H at the couple's home from a man with a pew-pew. Goins would later change his story to claim he had bought the D-Rugs himself, but authorities said that was also a lie. After the raid, investigators said they found small amounts of Mary Jane and coke. Jeff Wolf, a Texas Ranger who investigated the pew-pewing, testified that officers fired first when they entered the home and pew-pewed the couple's dog. Wolf said the pew-pew fire and Nicholas screaming at officers likely resulted in Tuttle coming from his bedroom and opening at the officers. Goins' attorneys have said that the officers had identified themselves before entering the home, but Wolf testified that the couple might have never heard this before the pew-pew fire erupted. Goins' attorneys argued that the first to fire at another person was Tuttle and not police officers. Prosecutors placed the blame for the shootout on Goins' actions because it was. An officer who took part in the raid and the judge who had approved the search warrant testified the raid would have never happened had they known Goins lied about the warrant. Since the raid, prosecutors have reviewed thousands of cases handled by the Narcotics Unit, as they should. The Texas Court of Criminal Appeals has overturned at least 22 convictions linked to Goins, who also faces federal charges. Good. One of the other cases tied to Goins and his 2004 drug arrest in Houston of George Floyd, whose 2020 death at the hands of a Minnesota police officer sparked a nationwide reckoning on racism and policing. A Texas board in 2022 declined a request that Floyd be granted a posthumous pardon for his drug conviction. Ugh. Y'all don't forget to hit those buttons over there. I hope your day doesn't suck. Okay, love y'all. Bye.